Hi, this is Jeff from CloudNC. Today I'm going to walk you through setting up a cut parameter or a preset, as we call it, in Cam Assist for Mastercam. So feeds and speeds in Cam Assist are coming from two general places. One would be the internal cutting parameters algorithm, an engine that provides feeds and speeds data back to Cam Assist from tools, so we don't have to specify feeds and speeds. And the second method is when you want to apply a certain feed and speed that you might have a preference for, and you're going to use the preset method to define the feed and speed. And for that, you'll use the tool manager. And so we're going to walk through that here today. So I've got a part loaded up, which is one of the demo parts. And if I open Cam Assist here, I've got a tool library that I've created. I've copied a version of the Mastercam mill toolpath that comes with Mastercam. And let's look and see what we get in Cam Assist with that tool library. So here it is here. I'll load it in. If I look at the tool use, it has no tool assemblies. So Cam Assist requires a tool assembly. It's looking for that data. It doesn't have it in this case. So let's look at that tool library in the Mastercam Tool Manager. So if I open up the Mastercam Tool Manager, we're going to examine that tool library. So I have it on my desktop here. So we can see that this tool library or tool database file has 446 cutting tools, 921 holders, but no assemblies. So that's the first thing we're going to set up. And we could do that in the tool manager, drag in the tools to make assemblies, but I'm going to just close Cam Assist here and use the Mastercam tool manager, the mill tool manager. I'm going to load in that file. Okay, so I've got down here, I'm in the assemblies view, there's no assemblies, so it's not showing up. But let's look at the tools. Let's pick all of those tools. Drag them into the top. It'll take a moment. And then I'm going to go to the assemblies view. I'm going to pick all of those tools from the top and put them into the assemblies. What this is going to do is, it's a bit of a shortcut. It's going to provide a default holder. You can see that in the holder column for all of those tools so that they'll become assemblies. So I'll close this and I'm going to save it. Now I'm going to reopen this in the Mastercam Tool Manager program. All right, so it's loading 446 tools, 921 holders. These aren't really being used, but we have our 446 assemblies. So now if I go back to Cam Assist, I'm going to pick that, make sure I've got that tool library picked, go to the tool use tab. It's just taking a moment to load in. All right, so now I've got 446 assemblies and they're showing up here. And they're showing up with no matching presets. So if I were to run this through Cam Assist now, I could use the cutting parameters engine in Cam Assist to generate feeds and speeds for me. So for that, I just have to make sure that my cutting parameters here is either on this selection or use CloudNC parameters only. So, but let's say I really want to run a specific feed and speed. So I know that this part typically grabs tool 352, and I'm going to set that for a roughing preset. So I'm going to go back to the tool manager. And the first thing I'm going to do is just ensure that my materials are aligned with what Cam Assist expects. So in Cam Assist here, we've got in the stock material, these 5 choices. These are going to basically be pulled in and matching to the tool library, the tool database file. So I want to set those up accordingly. So I'm going to open up a version of the Cam Assist tool library. So the one that is supplied with Cam Assist. So I just have to find that back in the default location, which is users, public documents, shared Mastercam 2025 mil tools. And here's Cam Assist inch. It'll take a moment to load. So I'm opening another session of the tool manager. It's a good idea when you're working with multiple sessions of the tool manager to always sort of keep an eye on the top left here. This is my active library. So now I'm in that demo library. And if I look down here, materials, I have got 5. In the target library, I have 0. So I want to take these materials. I'm going to open this up, select them all, just so that I have them all to match. Right click, copy. So these do have to be in English as well. So sometimes if you're working in a non-English language, your materials might be set up and Cam Assist is not really going to be able to match them. So I'm going to paste those into that target library. So now I've got my materials, and the way that works is if I come to the cut parameters, I'm going to make a new cut parameter. The material is going to feed this column here. So let's set a cut parameter for aluminum. And like I said, we're going to do tool 352. So I want that to be the name, actually. I have to hit the name. And I want this to be for roughing. The specifications for this part of the syntax here, the tool variable, that's available in the documentation. So if we looked at the supported operations here in the documentation pages, here's the operation names that we can specify. Wall finishing, chamfering, drilling, face finishing, face roughing, finishing by itself, which would cover all the other finishing operations, flat finishing, helical boring, roughing, spot drilling, tapping, threading, and wall finishing. Tapping and threading aren't quite available in Mastercam yet, but those will be coming. So if I minimize that, we've got my roughing parameters. I'm going to set my surface speed and feet per tooth now. So feet per tooth, I'm going to say this is a roughing, so I'm going to go with a hefty 3000. And for my surface speed, I want it to be pretty rapid, 1200 inches per minute. So those variables are now set for roughing. So the 352, just as a reminder, that's going to match up to the tool and the tool assembly. So if I sort my tools here and go down to 352, down in the list, okay, here, that tool. So it's going to override, the preset will override these settings. So don't set them in the tool, set them in the cut parameter. And then the assembly, that's going to come in on 352 as well. Okay. So now I've got cut parameter set for this tool, this material, using these variables here. So we were going to come back into Cam Assist. I'm going to reload that tool library one more time just to make sure we're applying those. I'm going to go to the Advanced tab and only do roughing. So that's the one I'm checking. Of course, when you're setting up your whole routine, you'll check many more tools depending on which ones you want to set. And then if I want to check 352, you can see most of them still have no parameters defined, but I can sort here and find that tool in the filter. So it's got a blue border around it signifying that there is a preset, and you can see that the roughing only is in the allowed usages. So I haven't set a preset for flat finishing, wall finishing, or helical boring. So if there were those operations and Cam Assist were to select 352, it's going to apply cutting parameters for those and a preset for roughing. and just to confirm that that's what we're going to do with this setting here. So it all links up, ties together. We'll generate this toolpath, skip ahead in the video, and then examine the toolpath results. Okay, so we've finished that calculation of the roughing toolpath. Now I'm going to hit no on this generate. I don't need to generate it fully. I'm going to open up toolpath number 2, look at the tool 352 parameters here. And there we can see that our feet per tooth is 3 thou, and our surface feet per minute, which corresponds to the cutting speed in the cutting parameters. Bring that back up. Surface speed, 1200. We're at 199.8, so there's some rounding going on in the calculation, but there's our preset being applied to that specific toolpath. So you could go in and set multiple toolpath operations like this. Again, we did this for roughing only. You could do it for the other variables, other toolpath operations that are available. So for more information, do consult our documentation on setting up presets, and stay tuned for more videos from us here at Cloud & C. Thank you.